We're going to read from you Mortimer in a Manger. In a big house lived a wee mouse named Mortimer. He dwelled in a dark hole under the stairs. Nobody ever noticed little Mortimer, and Mortimer liked it that way. He didn't like his hole. It was too cramped, too cold, and too creepy, squeaked Mortimer. Each day he snuck out, and he crept about looking for crumbs and tidbits. And one day, Mortimer spied something new. What he spied was wonderful. He saw a huge tree covered with twinkling lights. Nestled on top was a bright, shining star. But something even better than the tree itself sat next to it on the table. Mortimer sighed with delight. A house just my size. But the house was so high, and Mortimer was so low. I'll climb up to the tree, Mortimer said. It made the perfect ladder for a mouse. Up, 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 Mortimer climbed, and down, 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 ornaments crashed. Finally, he reached the table. Perfect, said Mortimer. Not cold, not cramped, not creepy, cozy. But who are you? Mortimer had never seen people so small, almost as small as himself. He'd never seen such strange animals either. Tap, tap, tap. Mortimer knocked, but no one answered. Tap, tap, tap. No one moved an inch. I see, Mortimer squeaked. You aren't real, only statues. And so Mortimer lugged, and Mortimer tugged, one by one, and dragged statues out. When he reached the smallest statue, he saw it was a baby in a wooden bed, just Mortimer's size. There's no room for you here, Mortimer said. Out you go. Then into bed crawled Mortimer. He fell fast asleep in a soft, warm hay. The next day, as Mortimer crept about, he found good things to eat. Cookie crumbs, fruitcake morsel, and spicy peppermint candy. But when Mortimer scampered back up to his new home, the statues were set up again. No, 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 squeaked Mortimer. This won't do. There's no room for me. And so
Mortimer lugged and Mortimer tugged until all the statues were out. And stay out, he said. Then into the bed crawled Mortimer. He fell fast asleep in the soft, warm hay. But each day, while Mortimer scurried about, the statues were set up again. And Mortimer always lugged and tugged them back out. Then one day, Mortimer set out and saw the big people gathered around the tree. He couldn't go out there, so he hid among the statues, and a man started talking. Mortimer listened, and what he heard was wonderful. Since it is Christmas Eve, I shall tell this Christmas story, said the man. A long time ago, in a little town called Bethlehem, Mortimer heard about people named Joseph and Mary and a bright shining star. He heard about shepherds watching their flocks by night and traveling wise men. The man continued, and there was no room for them in the inn. Then Mortimer heard about a baby who was born in a stable and had no real bed but slept in a wooden manger. A baby born to save the world. And his name shall be called Jesus, said the man. Mortimer looked at the bright shining star on the tree. He looked at his new home and his new bed. He looked at the statues. And last of all, he looked at the baby. I see, sighed Mortimer. You aren't just any statue. You're the statue of Jesus. Mortimer sniffed and Mortimer snuffled. A tear rolled down his furry cheek. There was no room for you in the inn, but I know where there is room for you, he said. And so Mortimer lugged and Mortimer tugged. Soon he dragged all the statues back to where they belonged. Last of all, he laid the baby in the manger. This belongs to you, he said. Mortimer smiled. You look warm and cozy now. There was no place for Mortimer to go except back to that cold, cramped, and creepy hole. As Mortimer scuttled down the tree, he said a prayer. Jesus, you were born to save the world. Perhaps you could also bring me a home? And then Mortimer spied something new. What he spied was wonderful. Mortimer sighed with delight. A house just my size. And there were no statues in sight. And so Mortimer moved right in. Thank you, Jesus, said Mortimer. You've made room for me too.